Hi there, it's Amy. I'm here with day 5 of Vlogmas, and I'm here today with the non-fiction November kind of book tag. This was created by Maria at Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool. I believe that's the name of the channel. If I'm wrong, please excuse me, but the original tag video will be down below. Yeah, it's a really interesting tag. I think it's also a great way to reflect on what I read in November for non-fiction November, so there's quite a few questions. I'm going to try and rattle through them as quickly as I can. I will be skipping questions pertaining to the challenges in the effect that there's a question for each of the word challenges, such as home, love, scholarship and substance, where it's asking you to talk about a book that you're particularly excited to read for non-fiction November. 1, non-fiction November's gone, so I can't really answer, but 2, I also didn't frame my reading around the challenge words. I can answer questions but that are loosely arranged around the challenge words, but I don't have books that I specifically read for those challenges, so I will be skipping those. So it will be a little bit shorter than the usual one, but you can see all the original questions tagged in or written in Maria's post, which I said before I will be posting below. Okay, ramble over, let's get into the questions, and starting with question 1, non-fiction November is a great time to meet other non-fiction lovers. Give a shout out to one of your favourite non-fiction booktubers. So obviously there's Oliver at Book Olive, which you guys should know about. If you don't, please go check our channel out. I will again link it all down below. Someone else that I really enjoy watching for non-fiction is Sophie from Portal and the Pages. She's a really great booktuber. I love all her videos. And her non-fiction choices are really interesting and really quite niche. I think also she reads quite a lot of political books or books on politics that I really like the look of. I think also because our political stance is quite similar, so I think a lot of the things she picks up to read for interest I often want to as well. So I'll link her page down below as well. Definitely check Sophie out, she's really cool. Question 2, why do you read non-fiction? So for me, I really love learning. I always want to learn more and more widely, and also I think knowing more leads to a greater understanding of everyone around you and the world around you, and I think that is only going to create more love and harmony in the world. So I try to understand as many people or everyone that I can, and I think, you know, the more you can push that out to the people around you and create that feeling with other people, then I think the world could be a little bit better. So yeah, a bit gushy, but I definitely believe in that, so there we go. Question 3, and this is now pertaining to home. Where in your home do you like to read? There's 2 places. One is here on my bed, so this tripod's resting on my bed. I'll read here of an evening with the little light on and some incense or some kind of wax candle going, and I'll read for about an hour or so. And I'll also read in the front room, which I'll be going to after this. I'll read with my partner Sam playing video games in the background. I think he's currently playing Punker and screaming at our friends on TeamSpeak, so I find that quite soothing to listen to. I don't know why, but I do. Question 4. Give a non-fiction recommendation set in your home country. So for this one I have 2. The first one is Grayson Perry's The Scent of Man. Grayson Perry is a British artist. I believe he won the Turner Prize one year. And this is all about his view on masculinity and its decline, as you can tell from the title. He says he can see it from a really interesting perspective. So he was brought up by a very masculine stepfather, I believe it is. I'm not too sure if his father or stepfather. It's been quite a while since I've read this book. So he has quite a strong masculinity inside him, but he also has this affinity with women's clothing and wearing women's clothing that he finds he really relates to and finds very comfortable. So we can see it from this stance as well, and from this perspective he has quite an interesting view on masculinity and what he sees as its decline. If you are at all interested in gender, then definitely I think this is a really good supplement to talking about feminism. I think also to view masculinity in relation to it. I'm not saying that one is more important than the other, never. I believe in equality, and I think that's why I like to read from the other side as well, because I don't naturally understand masculinity, and I do ask my partner a lot about how he feels, and I think this is a really good book for answering some questions that I had, and yeah, it's really good. I would definitely recommend it. The other book is one that I talked about on my channel before, and that's Your Life in My Hands, a Junior Doctor story by Rachel Clark. Again, anyone interested in the NHS and its future, definitely pick this up. It was really interesting reading. I definitely recommend it. So yeah. Question 5, I'm going to skip, like I said. Question 6, love. What do you love to read most in the non-fiction field? This would be history, for the obvious reason that I studied it at university. I really love studying history, and I like to read bits of history that I haven't really studied in my past. So yeah, I just love reading about history. Question 7, give a non-fiction recommendation related to the challenge word, love. And I pick Alexandra Hemingsley, Running Like a Girl, and I pick this because it reminds me of my relationship with my dad. I definitely got back into running through him, and also I think it's definitely making us closer as father and daughter. And like I said in my wrap-up, Alexandra talks about her relationship with her dad, who was also a runner, and how it brought them closer, so I found a real affinity with this book. Yeah, and it's a really good book. If you're at all running and you need motivation, probably more specific for women, definitely pick this one, it's very good. Question 8, like I said before, I'm going to skip. Question 9, substance. Non-fiction is a great way to introduce us to people that inspire us to be better. Name a person of substance you have loved reading more about. I don't actually read books about specific people. I read more about movements and occurrences in history. I don't really read about people so much. I'm more interested in a group of people and a culture. But I would like to read more books next year by kind of philosophers and people who have really added to our way of thinking. So I really want to read more by Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Rousseau, Hume, who else? Plato, all those kind of big classics that we all know about. And I don't think that's necessarily a person, but I think their thoughts are of such substance that I really want to read about them. So I guess it's kind of like a half answer, but there you have it. Question 10. What book do you recommend to people that has a lot of substance to it? And this one is East West Street, on the origins of genocide and crimes against humanity by Philippe Sands. So this I thought was going to be a book about just the Holocaust, because taken by the title I think that's what it kind of puts across. But this is way more than that. There's so much more substance to it than just one kind of layer. This is also about Philippe Sands' kind of family history, dating or going back to Ukraine. This is based in Ukraine. And it's also weaving in Ukraine's, what am I trying to say? Ukraine's kind of Holocaust history. So what happened in Ukraine due to the Holocaust and due to the Nazi regime. But it also talks about the 2 Ukrainian Jews who studied law and went on to create the terms genocide and crimes against humanity, and how that affected the post-World War II trials. It's just really good piece of work and piece of non-fiction, and I would definitely push upon anyone who wants a really interesting and different view and multi-layered view of the Holocaust and the Jewish experience in Ukraine at the time. So there's that one. Question 11 I'm going to skip. Question 12, scholarship. Non-fiction can teach us a lot. What subjects and or topics have you really learned about because of your reading? I think I've learned a lot more about science. I haven't read loads on it, but like natural science, medicine and so on and so forth, I've really gotten interested into. And I'll talk about it more because the next question I will give a recommendation which is in the science realm. Question 13. Which book do you recommend which would teach someone something? Bit of a mouth word vomit. Which teach someone something really well. And that is Spillover, I don't have it physically, Spillover, Animal Infections and the Next Human Pandemic by David Quammen. This is all about, well, what it says it is. It's about diseases that spread from animals to humans, and that's more stuff like Ebola, swine flu, avian flu. I think there's some other ones as well. I'll go obvious one, HIV/AIDS. And it's talking about why this happens, the human interventions into the wildlife that create this to happen. It goes through outbreaks of each one, and also then has a ending that posits what the next big pandemic will be, which is likely to be some form of influenza, they believe. Really enjoy this. It's probably one of my favourite non-fiction reads ever. and I would definitely, yeah, I would recommend it. It's such a great book, and I think if you're at all interested in that area at all, it's really, really, really good. Question 14 I won't do again, and the last question or thing to do is to tag someone. If you're watching this and you really want to do it, consider yourself tagged. I don't know who else is watching this, so yeah, I just want to put it out there. Yeah, so those are my questions and those are my answers. If you have any kind of thoughts and feelings about what I said, definitely comment below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon. Bye.